Perhaps I go to Waihoro Spreydon-Cashmere Community Board. Thank you, Carolyn Potter and Lee Sampson. Thank you very much for being here.
Morena.
Kia ora tātou, Carolyn Potter and
Lee Sampson.
I just want to start by Jimmy saying that I was at the first cultural galore with possibly the most boring stall that ever there was from the Human Rights Commission that year that you were talking about, and you're dead right, it was a heart, and to see what it is now is just a heart. And very much down to council who kept it local, and the location.
Two community boards.
Yeah, yes, and not. We even discussed it 10 years ago, putting it in Hagley, and we knew then it would just go boom, and it wouldn't be the same intimate relationship building thing that happens at Ings Park. It's a real treat to go there every year.
Yeah. Except it's not English Park.
I just wanted to mention, we got no parties. I just wanted to mention just briefly one of the grants. The grants to the kids is just fantastic, and they come back and report to us in increasing numbers, and the range and places that they go to and the things that they do, and the education of oldies about korfball and other sports that I've never heard of before. Just wonderful. But I did want to mention that this time it was the Opawa Heskett River Network that stands out for me. This is a river network that was founded by one of our community board members and other people, and has been really instrumental in gathering our communities together along the river of the Opawa Heskett right down to the sea. And it's been a very effective organisation, very local organisation, and very well organised by them. We had the Edible and Sustainable Garden Awards last night, and we'll report on them at the next meeting. But we are delighted to have sustainable in the title now, which makes it even more meaningful than it has been before. The Off the Ground Fund, absolutely could kill myself over this one. I won the smallest sunflower award and a prize in the Spreydon Sunflower competition, and I promised the organiser Ruth Vercoe in the photograph there that I would bring it today, and I completely forgot, and I would have loved to have been able to present it. This is one individual who just said, let's have a sunflower competition, and went to the Spreydon Neighbourhood Network and said, let's have a sunflower competition, and we had a sunflower competition. And the picnic in the park, which was in pouring with rain and absolutely freezing cold, and I did not attend because I'm gutless, was really well attended by people for an inaugural thing down at the Domain. So delightful, absolutely delightful, and just something that someone just suddenly thought up for themselves. Huntsbury? I'm going to mention Huntsbury and then you're going to talk, eh?
We're going to do Friday.
This was Huntsbury's celebration of 100 years anniversary. They think they're the first suburb to ever celebrate their birthday. They acknowledge briefly and under their breath that Riccarton and Addington and Sydenham are probably older suburbs, but they haven't celebrated a birthday, so it was down to them, Huntsbury. And so they were 100 years, and it was really down to David Drayton. He's always self-effacing, and he always talks about other people who helped him organise them, and of course they were there. They did help him. But it was David Drayton's idea, and he's just such a hard worker in the community. And he, on Friday night, they had a cocktail party with wine and cheese, and I went to that, and so did Tim. And Tim made a speech, and a bloke wrote a song to the tune of It's a Wonderful World about wonderful Huntsbury, and he sang it. It was fantastic. And the next day...
Yep, so I think Friday you had around 250 people just for a cheese and wine. Saturday was equally successful. It was a bit of a moody day, but it actually came really right for the Saturday afternoon. We had hundreds through in the reservoir, so there's a few photos on the screen there. So we had mini motorised vehicles. We had Zorbs. I had really bad visions of Zorbs going down Huntsbury Hill, but they were safely contained in the reservoir. We had dancing, we had music. Just a true community event. It was fantastic. Even Mike Yardley doing heritage tours of Huntsbury as well. So it was a diverse day and really successful. We had people come in that back that had moved from Huntsbury and just coming back just because they identified so strongly with Huntsbury and the strength of the community there. So really successful day.
Yeah, a very successful weekend, really successful events, and just initiated by them. What's the next one? Oh, well done.
Go our trips.
This is the community board trips, which we know that you all took, and this is just to demonstrate how superior our area is. There's the sign of the Takahe over there, and there's the single, what is it, the old stone house, both of them repaired, and that repair led by, what, Brick?
Oh, well, it's a community facility.
Important bloke, yeah.
Richie Wall, yeah.
Richie, that's it. Yeah. And very efficient at it he was as well. And there's the Hoonhay Community Centre, which is the old children's library, which Melanie's worked so hard to save. And on the left is the disability accessible playground next door to Barrington Mall, where the staff were so enthusiastic and the City Council staff were just excellent on that project. They brought it to the board's attention that they were going to go for disability accessible. Our board's interested in that, and it's a delightful playground. And there, of course, we didn't tour at night, but there's the basketball hoops, led by the boys and now young men of Hoonhay in fundraising in terms of getting that park going.
Just think it was great for the new members, because when you look at the diversity of our board, when you go to Addington, Manuka Cottage, when you go to Rowley, then you go to the Old Stone House and the Sana Tataka, it just emanates how diverse our ward is. So,
yeah, well done.
Yep. Next.
Now this was amazing of staff. When I came on board 12 years ago, I launched it into a great diatribe about how we should shift around the ward for our meetings, but we never did. It always turned out to be too difficult, and post-earthquake, of course, it was difficult. But our new governance manager, Emma Pavey, decided that we were going to travel the ward and over the next year or two and have our meetings in separate places in the ward. And this is the Cashmere Presbyterian Church, which was the first place we had our meeting. And on the left, standing there is David Drayton, thanking us for our contribution to the Huntsbury celebration of 100 years. Or is it on the right? My eyes.
He's on the right. Yeah.
On the right. My eyes aren't good enough. As one of the people who presented in the public forum, which incidentally is a wonderful initiative. We have met so many different residents interested in different issues at our public forums. So that was our first meeting out of our normal premises to take our meeting to the people.
Okay, moving.
Are you clear? Yep. And we're not going to... the engagement on the community plan. Do you want to say something first? We had a diverse range of people who came to see us on the community plan, including, for instance, people who are the trustees of Niomarsh House, who talked to us about having a cultural map of the ward, which points out to people who are walking in the ward the areas that have got particular cultural resonance, and I think that could be easily done. Look how easily they did the fruit trees and things. I think we could smack on and show our major cultural things on an ordinary map of Spreydon-Cashmere and get people to take a walk around and see the different things that are available. And other people have raised more parochial ideas, but generally speaking there was, I think, some sort of unanimity around traffic issues, getting kids safely to school, cycleways and so on. Would you have any other comments on that? On the issues that were raised?
I think it was we had 30 plus people. It was and we got good validation from the priorities that we've identified at the moment, certainly in terms of traffic issues.
Yeah.
We know from our community that the likes of Cashmere Road is just getting busier and busier. And that was certainly one of the flavours that evening. So. And
every board member, including the ones that are here, Melanie and Tim, raised a particular issue that the board had prioritised, and my one was the adult playground, and we had a submission later which asked if I was talking about sex games in my adult playground? No.
There's the headline.
You're not wrong. But I so wish the council would pick this one up, because I think it would be the Margaret Mayhew. Not that. I think it would be the Margaret Mayhew for adults in Christchurch. That's us. That's us.
I actually have seen the Margaret Mayhew After Dark, and it certainly isn't populated by children.
No,
But it's young adults really enjoying themselves on all the amenities, you know, so
the
they
council
seem to be having great fun.
No,
I
university.
know, that's not...
No, my
Okay.
student nephews who go to the Margaret playground at Mayhew playground at night. I think the council's dead mean turning the water off.
One of my former colleagues used to say, when you're in a hole, stop digging. Right. So
I wasn't digging.
No, I was. I joined in. That was the mistake. So Tim Scandrett would like to move. You can comment when I've got a mover and a seconder, and then we'll open it up for debate. Seconded by Melanie Coker. Tim.
Look, last night we had our Edible and Sustainable Awards, and I have to commend our chair, because when you go to these, a lot of the public aren't used to these things and they're a bit nervous and it's a bit stuffy, but our chair has a magical way of relaxing everybody, having everybody laughing, and with that laughter comes warmth and camaraderie, and it was an absolute fantastic night, which she really kind of drove from her eclectic way she did it. So, and the confusion that we all had, thank goodness we did not have a rehearsal, or it would have been even worse, but it was fantastic, so thank you.
Photos to come next month. Okay.
Thank you very much. Oh, no, I'll put the motion. All those in favour say aye. Those opposed say no. That's carried. And I haven't crossed